Right, now I want to look at absolute positioning, and depending on what you're doing, absolute positioning can get a little weird. It's kind of a hybrid with relative and fixed. Um, it's relative to the closest ancestor that doesn't have static positioning. So all of our elements, uh, except for the ones that we styled here, gave them the fixed position and this relative position. If I want to style this image here, then I see that this image doesn't have an ancestor that is not static. So we're going to start there. We're going to style this image and give it a position of absolute. And then we're going to put it down in the bottom right. So bottom 0 pixels and right 0 pixels. So now when I save this, what I want is to position Mario over here kind of by the bottom corner of this white box with the orange border. But what's going to happen is he got taken out of the normal flow and he's down in the bottom right corner of the entire browser window. And that is because he is not, or he's in a, he doesn't have any ancestors that aren't statically positioned. So here in my index, I can see we have this div with the class of container, and we can change the positioning on that, and then that's going to change the way that this image acts when we have it absolutely positioned. So here I'm going to give this div a position of relative. And remember, because I'm not giving it a top and a bottom, and the relative positioning positions something relative to where it is normally on the page, I don't have to give this anything, and I changed it to relative, but it's not going to move on the page. But look what happens when we refresh the page. Now that this div has that relative positioning, it moves Mario up here. So now I can give this maybe a negative 15 pixels, and then from the right, I'm going to also give that a negative 15 pixels. We'll see where that moves it. Let's save this, refresh our page. Moved it down a little bit. I want it to go a little bit further. So we'll take it to 35 pixels. That might be too far. And then refresh our page. No, that's pretty good. That moves it kind of out of that flow where it's not going to be in the way too much. Let's resize this and see if it gets in the way of any of that text. I think we're okay here. Might move him down just a little bit more, or at least over a little bit more, so that that's not a concern. So from the right, we'll go negative 50 pixels. That way he's over just a little bit more. And now he shouldn't be in the way of any of that text.